when I think about the treatment of a patient, we were talking about it earlier that with end-of-life care, it's so important to include all the stakeholders for a patient, which is their immediate family members, their caregivers. And I wonder for treatment, I always wanted to have someone else in the room to discuss a treatment change, mostly because patients often are in shock, and I want to make sure they're hearing the information correctly. And I think this probably is broad. My sister just underwent a cardiac procedure, and her husband was there, and she definitely zoned out, in the shock of the moment, and he captured everything. But I don't know how far that has to go. I do get concerned when kind of the strange family members, the child who hasn't been home for 5 years shows up and now wants to inject him or herself, into all the serious decision making, and they haven't been involved for the last 2 years of illness. So I don't know how far it goes, where it stops, where it starts. I think having the key caregiver there for all those critical steps in decision is valuable.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the oncologist that's one of the roles for the oncologist, is to orchestrate that the best they can and be sensitive to the family situation that they need to do. But I think generally being as inclusive as possible is probably the direction in which to err on that.
So it's interesting to me, there's been so much talk recently about medication therapy management, and it seems to be all around very high cost oral therapeutics, with the idea being that's a $1,000 pill, and you want to make sure the patient's taking them as directed, because it's a huge cost to the system if they're non-compliant, if they don't optimize the pill by taking it on its correct schedule. And I get all that, but what I don't get is that shit is really cuts across all of healthcare. It's about getting to their appointments on time. It's not just their oral drugs that are expensive and their refills and their appropriate dosing on treatment days, but it really reflects everything in healthcare. And for that reason, I think that this idea of MTM, of medication therapy management, has somehow missed the mark. It's been too focused, driven by probably a specialty pharmacy need, rather than thinking about it as a great need across healthcare. And I would love to see mobile solutions, text-based solutions that are push, not pull. For my patients, if they had to log into a website, a lot less likely I'm going to get them to do that on their own, and everybody has a phone that can receive a text. So receive a text, did you take your medicine? Receive a text, you have an appointment tomorrow. I get that text from the people who cut my hair. Why can't that come from a doctor's appointment to remind you to be there tomorrow? It's kind of, to me, that we're missing that opportunity, that mobile health technologies could be a great driver of not just improving adherence, compliance, persistence with an oral therapeutic, but in general, with good care, managing the side effects, making sure you notify a simple query, how are you doing today? 1 is great, 5 is bad. Let's just say you hit a 3 to 5. Subsequent query, have you called your doctor? If not, go. There are so many simple solutions to drive that process.
Yeah, I agree completely. A lot of the things we've been talking today as being oncology specific are really just general medicine. I mean, just adherence is key, no matter what kind of therapy you have. There may be more benefit to patients, in net cost in terms of being adherent to their amlodipine for their hypertension than being adherent to their very expensive specialty drug for whatever end-stage tumor or near end-stage tumor they may be. There may be a lot of more benefit with cheaper drugs. So I think the whole issue, I think it's a bigger issue of just patient adherence, patient education, what is the right way to prompt patients, and different patients want to be prompted very differently. Anything from some people you got to call. Some people some people you can text. Some people you got to put the little pill bottle in that beeps. All of those new tools for adherence, and to find ones that work. And I think it's just part of the larger problem of adherence.